There's a moment that happens to many people after the age of 60, and it often comes quietly. You stand up from a chair and feel your legs hesitate. You walk across the room and notice your balance isn't what it used to be. Maybe your knees ache after a short walk, or your hips feel stiff first thing in the morning. And suddenly, something as simple as climbing stairs begins to feel like hard work. Most seniors are told the same advice over and over again. Just walk more. And yes, walking is good. It helps the heart, improves mood, and keeps the body moving. But what if I told you that many orthopedic surgeons and physical therapists now agree there is one simple movement that may be even more important after 60 than walking itself? Because here's the truth most people never hear. Walking alone does not fully protect aging muscles. It does not rebuild lost strength fast enough. And it often fails to target the one area of the body most responsible for independence in later life. That area is your legs. Not just your knees, not just your feet, but the deep stabilizing muscles around your thighs, hips, and glutes. The muscles that keep you standing, balanced, and confident. The muscles that help you avoid falls. The muscles that determine whether you can continue living independently or begin relying on others for basic daily tasks. And the exercise surgeons are now recommending more and more for seniors is surprisingly simple. No gym, no heavy weights, no expensive machines. In fact, many people can do it safely right at home in less than 5 minutes a day. What makes this exercise so powerful is that it trains something walking often misses: controlled strength. It teaches your body how to support itself again, how to rise, stabilize, and move with confidence. It strengthens the muscles responsible for protecting your joints instead of wearing them down. One retired schoolteacher named Margaret, age 72, described it perfectly. She said, "I walked every day for years, but I still felt weaker every month. My balance got worse. My knees hurt constantly. Then my therapist showed me this one movement, and within weeks, I could stand up without pushing myself off the chair." That's the difference. Sometimes the body doesn't just need more movement. It needs the right movement. And if you stay with me until the end of this video, you'll discover exactly what this surgeon-approved exercise is, why it works better than walking for many seniors, how it protects the knees and hips, and the biggest mistakes older adults make that secretly accelerate weakness and joint pain. You'll also learn how to perform this movement safely, even if you haven't exercised in years. Because no matter your age, your body still has the ability to rebuild strength. And many seniors are shocked by how quickly they begin feeling steadier, stronger, and more energetic once they start training the right way. Here's something even more important. Researchers have found that leg weakness after 60 is one of the strongest predictors of future falls, loss of mobility, and reduced independence. Not age itself, weakness. That means the goal is not simply getting older. The goal is staying capable. And capability comes from strength. The sad reality is that many older adults slowly stop trusting their bodies. They avoid stairs. They avoid longer walks. They stop traveling. They stop gardening. Some even become afraid of falling in their own homes. Little by little, life becomes smaller. But the human body responds incredibly well to gentle resistance and stability training, even in your 70s and 80s. Doctors have seen patients regain balance, improve posture, and reduce joint discomfort simply by retraining the muscles that support the skeleton. And the exercise we're about to discuss does exactly that. What's fascinating is that this movement looks almost too simple to work. In fact, many people ignore it because it doesn't seem intense enough. But surgeons often love simple exercises because they are safer on aging joints while still activating critical muscle groups. In many ways, the best exercises after 60 are not the flashy ones. They are the ones your body can actually repeat consistently without pain. And in just a moment, I'll explain why this one movement may be the missing link between staying active and slowly becoming weaker despite daily walks. The exercise many surgeons and physical therapists recommend is called the sit-to-stand movement. At first glance, it almost seems too ordinary to matter. After all, standing up from a chair is something people do every day without thinking. But that's exactly why it matters so much. This single movement mirrors one of the most important survival skills of independent living. Every time you rise from a chair, a toilet seat, or the edge of a bed, your body must coordinate strength, balance, joint stability, and muscle control all at once. And after the age of 60, that ability can begin fading quietly. What makes the sit-to-stand exercise so powerful is that it targets the exact muscles most seniors lose first: the quadriceps in the thighs, the glute muscles in the hips, the core muscles that stabilize the spine. These are the muscles responsible for keeping you upright and steady during daily life. Walking, surprisingly, doesn't fully strengthen these muscles enough on its own. Walking mainly improves endurance. It trains the body to keep moving forward. But standing up from a seated position requires force production, real muscular effort. That's what protects independence. This is why some older adults can still walk around the block, but struggle badly getting out of a low chair. And once standing up becomes difficult, the body often enters a dangerous cycle. People begin sitting more because movement feels harder. The muscles weaken faster, balance declines. Joint stiffness increases, confidence disappears. Then one small stumble suddenly becomes a serious fall risk. Many seniors believe knee pain automatically means they should avoid using their legs. But surgeons often explain the opposite is true. In many cases, weak leg muscles place even more pressure on the knees because the joints lose support. Think of muscles like shock absorbers for the body. When the muscles are strong, they absorb stress and stabilize movement. When they weaken, the joints take the full impact. That's why controlled strengthening exercises are now considered one of the best long-term tools for reducing age-related mobility decline. One orthopedic specialist described it this way: if your legs become weak, your world becomes smaller. And sadly, that's exactly what happens to many people after retirement. Not because they are lazy, not because they failed, but because nobody explained how quickly muscle loss accelerates after 60. In fact, adults can lose significant muscle mass every decade as they age, especially if they become less active. This condition is often called sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss. And it affects balance, walking speed, posture, and energy levels. But here's the encouraging part. Muscle tissue is incredibly responsive, even later in life. The body still adapts. The body still rebuilds. Seniors in their 70s, 80s, and beyond have improved strength dramatically through simple, resistance-based movements. And the sit-to-stand exercise works because it trains movement patterns the brain uses every single day. Now let's talk about why surgeons especially like this exercise for older adults. Unlike high-impact workouts, it places relatively low stress on the joints while still strengthening the surrounding muscles. There's no jumping, no twisting, no pounding on the knees. In many cases, the movement can even be modified for people with arthritis or limited mobility. A higher chair can be used, arm support can be added temporarily. The movement can be slowed down safely. What matters most is consistency, not speed. One 68-year-old man shared that he thought his fatigue was simply old age. He walked daily, but still felt unstable climbing stairs. After practicing controlled sit-stands for several weeks, he noticed something unexpected. His confidence returned before his strength fully did. That's important, because fear itself changes how seniors move. When people become afraid of falling, they often walk slower, tense their bodies, and avoid movement altogether. Ironically, that stiffness can increase instability even more. Strength creates confidence, and confidence changes the way the body carries itself. There's also a major myth we need to clear up. Many people believe pain always means damage. But mild discomfort from weak muscles becoming active again is very different from sharp or severe joint pain. The body sometimes feels stiff because it has become deconditioned, not necessarily because it is broken. Of course, anyone with severe medical conditions should speak with their doctor before beginning new exercises. But for many seniors, gentle strengthening is exactly what helps reduce stiffness over time. And here's something fascinating researchers continue discovering. Leg strength is strongly connected to longevity. Seniors with stronger lower body function often maintain independence longer, recover better from illness, and remain active later into life. Not perfect bodies. Stronger functional bodies. That's why this conversation matters so much. This isn't about looking younger. It's about preserving freedom. The freedom to walk confidently into a grocery store. The freedom to travel, to play with grandchildren, to get up from the couch without struggling. And in the next part, I'll show you how to safely perform this exercise at home, the biggest mistakes seniors make while doing it, and the daily habits that can dramatically improve strength, balance, and joint comfort after 60. The beautiful thing about the sit-to-stand exercise is that almost anyone can begin at their own level. You do not need to be athletic. You do not need expensive equipment. And you certainly do not need to push your body to exhaustion for this movement to work. In fact, slow and controlled is often better. Start with a sturdy chair that does not slide. A dining chair is usually safer than a soft couch because couches sink too low and make the movement harder on the knees and hips. Sit near the front edge of the chair with your feet flat on the floor about shoulder width apart. Lean your chest slightly forward. This small shift is important because it helps distribute your body weight correctly and reduces unnecessary strain on the knees. Then gently press through your heels and stand up slowly. Do not rush. Once standing, pause for a second. Feel your legs working. Feel your posture straighten. Then, slowly lower yourself back down with control instead of collapsing into the chair. That lowering phase is extremely powerful. It activates stabilizing muscles that help with balance and joint protection. Many physical therapists say the slow lowering is where some of the greatest strength improvements happen. First, even 5 repetitions may feel challenging. And that is perfectly okay. Some seniors begin with just 3 repetitions twice a day. What matters is creating consistency without pain or fear. Over time, the body adapts. One common mistake older adults make is using momentum instead of muscle control. They swing their arms, jerk forward, or push off aggressively. But the goal is not simply standing up. The goal is teaching the muscles to take over the work again. Another mistake is holding the breath. Many people tense their bodies without realizing it. Instead, breathe naturally. Exhale gently as you stand. This helps reduce strain and keeps the movement smoother. Now here's something most people never hear. Your muscles rebuild during recovery, not just during exercise. That means the daily habits surrounding movement are just as important as the exercise itself. For example, hydration matters far more after 60 than many realize. Even mild dehydration can increase fatigue, dizziness, muscle cramps, and joint stiffness. Seniors sometimes drink less water because thirst signals weaken with age. But the muscles and joints still desperately need hydration to function properly. Protein is also critical. As we age, the body becomes less efficient at maintaining muscle tissue. That means older adults often need adequate protein throughout the day to support strength and recovery. Eggs, yogurt, fish, beans, chicken, nuts, and other protein-rich foods can help support muscle maintenance alongside exercise. And then there's sleep, the hidden factor many people overlook completely. Poor sleep affects balance, recovery, coordination, inflammation, and energy levels. Some seniors blame aging for their exhaustion when chronic poor sleep may be quietly weakening the body day after day. Simple walking still has value, of course. Walking supports heart health, circulation, mood, and mobility. But pairing walking with strengthening movements creates a far more complete approach to healthy aging. Think of walking as movement for endurance, and strength training as protection for independence. Now let's talk about another major issue: sitting too long. Many seniors unknowingly weaken their legs simply by remaining seated for hours at a time. The body follows the lifestyle it repeats most often. If the body spends most of the day sitting, the muscles gradually adapt to inactivity. That's why small movement snacks throughout the day can be life-changing. Standing up every hour, standing a few sit-to stands after meals, taking short indoor walks, stretching gently while watching television. Tiny actions repeated consistently often outperform extreme efforts done occasionally. And here's something encouraging: improvement can happen surprisingly fast. Some seniors notice stronger legs within weeks. Others first notice easier stair climbing, better balance, or less fear during movement. The body loves repetition. Patience is essential. Many people quit too early because they expect dramatic results overnight. Real strength is built gradually, quietly, almost invisibly at first. Then one day, you suddenly realize something that used to feel difficult now feels normal again. That moment can be emotional. One woman in her late 70s shared that after practicing these movements consistently, she stood up from her garden bench one afternoon without thinking about it for the first time in years. She burst into tears because she realized her body no longer felt fragile. That feeling matters, because aging is not simply physical. It's emotional too. Every small improvement restores a little more confidence, dignity, and freedom. And in the final part, we're going to talk about the deeper truth behind healthy aging, why strength is really about hope. How your body can continue changing far beyond what most people believe, and the message every senior deserves to hear before it's too late. There is something deeply powerful that happens when a person begins trusting their body again, not because they suddenly became younger, but because they realized they are still capable, still adaptable, still stronger than they thought. So many seniors spend years hearing only negative messages about aging. That weakness is normal. That pain is just part of life. That slowing down is unavoidable. And while aging does change the body, losing all strength and independence is not something you are simply doomed to accept. The human body is remarkably responsive to care, movement, nourishment, and consistency, even later in life. That's why this simple exercise matters so much. It's not just about standing up from a chair. It's about standing up for your future. It's about protecting the small everyday abilities that quietly shape your quality of life. The ability to walk into your kitchen confidently. The ability to carry groceries without fear. To climb stairs. To visit family. To travel. To get out of bed without struggling. These moments may seem ordinary until they become difficult. And the truth is, many people do not realize how precious mobility is until they begin losing it. But here's the hopeful part. The body can improve at almost any age when given the right challenge in the right way. Not punishment, not extreme workouts. Gentle, consistent strengthening. That's what surgeons and therapists continue seeing over and over again. Perfection, progress, a little more balance, a little more strength, a little less fear. And those small changes add up. One day you notice you're walking faster. Another day you realize your knees don't ache quite as much. Then suddenly, something that once required effort becomes automatic again. Those moments are not small victories. They are signs that your body is responding. 'Cause movement is medicine when done correctly. And perhaps the most important message of all is this. It is never too late to begin caring for your strength. Not at 60, not at 70, not even at 80. The body may adapt more slowly with age, but it still adapts. What matters most is consistency and belief. You do not need to become a fitness expert overnight. You do not need intense workouts or impossible routines. Sometimes the greatest transformation begins with one controlled movement repeated daily with patience and intention. And remember, walking is wonderful. Keep walking if you can. But do not ignore strength, because strength is what supports movement. Strength is what protects balance. Strength is what helps preserve independence. That is why this one simple exercise can become life-changing for so many older adults. If today's video encouraged you, let this be your reminder that your body is not finished yet. Your muscles can still respond. Your balance can still improve. Your confidence can still return. Aging does not mean giving up. It means learning how to support your body wisely. And if someone in your family is struggling with weakness, knee pain, or fear of falling, share this message with them. Sometimes one small habit can completely change the direction of a person's later years. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Take care of your body gently. Be patient with yourself. And remember, small daily actions often create the biggest long-term results. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below sharing your age and where you're watching from, and most importantly, keep moving, keep strengthening, and keep believing that better days are still ahead.